So this video is going to be basically a couple of tips that I learned from the ayahuasca ceremonies that I partook in this last weekend. Um, I like to make a video about it whenever I do that. I like to make a video just a few days after, while I'm still sort of in the processing time. I'm still super emotional right now, so I might cry during this. Um, that kind of thing. But I learned something that's like really, really valuable during a ceremony that I had trouble with in my previous ceremonies. So, um, so just a few tips. So the first thing is breathe. I'm one of those people, and I know there's a lot of people that this happens to. Um, when once the medicine hits, I sort of become like the energy's trying to come up. All of the energy is trying to come up and trying to move through, but I end up in this weird stuck paralysis type situation. Not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's like grandmother just um, working. It's the medicine working, really. It's not a bad thing. It's not scary or anything like that. It's just stuck. You're just kind of like stuck, and there's a lot of energy just there needing to be moved through. Now I didn't realize before that that's exactly what it was, but I saw everything this time. I could see what the Theta was doing. I could see what was happening, like energetically. I'm saying, um, and I could feel everything this time. So it was a different experience. I was able. So if you're able, when you're in that state, like when you're in that stuck place, and it's just so strong and it's absolutely exhausting. It just really is exhausting. That's the only negative side to it. But when you're in that place and you become aware that you're in that place, because sometimes you just stay there for a couple of hours so the medicine starts to wear off, and there's really not a whole lot of awareness. You're just kind of stuck there. I've done that a few times. So when you become aware that that's what's happening, you just start moving. You just start moving, right? So like if you're laying down, then just start moving your legs back and forth. Just start like moving, like lift your get just kind of lift up your legs and just start moving them. Like just start moving your body. For me, I was sitting up all the time for some reason. So I would just start moving from my root. So just start moving back and forth, or maybe, in a circle, whatever, whatever. But the movement shook me out of it. It shook the energy and it allowed it to come up and to come out. And a lot of times it was coming out in a purge. This was really strong for me. These two ceremonies I did this weekend were exactly what I needed, exactly what my body needed, exactly what my spirit needed. But yeah, that is one of the things that has been so hard for me, is to just move the energy out. And you could do it through your voice, just going, ugh, ugh. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is. Um, and the funny part is that, like, I saw the Tata doing it. I saw him shaking it out of other people through his voice, through his grunts and things like this, and other ways too. But it was like he was teaching me how to do it, not even knowing, just from me watching and feeling it, and then from me doing it myself. Okay, what else? So breathing. The other really helpful thing when you're in that stuck state is when you become aware of it. Because if you're not aware of it, then you can't do anything about it, right? If you can become aware of it, then breathe. Just breathe. Make noises when you make big sighs. Oh man, the breath is like it's almost like you didn't even breathe the whole time that you're in this state. Obviously, you had to breathe somehow. It was probably just really shallow breaths, but um, focus on the breath and focus on where the energy's at and just moving it through, just moving it through. Um, yeah, and that was the biggest lesson for me this this weekend was just really learning how to move the energy through the body. Yeah, there's so many other things that I could talk about, and I could talk about my experience and all that. Oh, there is something I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to really talk about like besides that, that was a big part of my experience, but I'm not going to talk about every little part of my experience. Um, but another thing I wanted to say for, especially for first timers, this is you're going to a retreat, which like a group of people, but this is a very individualized process. Okay, so like if it's like, oh, let's get a bunch of friends and go, like, I mean, that's fine, but it's not going to be a social event. um, the process is very individual. You're in your own world, literally. Each person is at a different place, and the medicine's working in a completely different way for each person. So, once the medicine wears off a little bit, like right before the next cup, you have a little time, and that little bit of time is the most beautiful community time that you'll ever see in life, I think. Like for me, it's been like this honoring of each individual person. And this comes up for me every ceremony, rather, no matter what kind it is. It's just this honoring of like this divine being, no matter who it is, the people on the sides of you. If you're in ceremony, you're either in a circle or like, um, side to side and front to back and all that. So you end up really connecting in between cups, sort of. For me, I did this time, and the people around me did. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not really a tip, but it's just know that you can come to ceremony alone. Like I do a lot of things alone. It doesn't bother me, but it's really an alone thing. Like just you can go alone. It's not a go hang out with your friends for the weekend, except unless you're me and have my friends, because it's kind of like it's okay for us and we love it. But all right, well, I think that is it. That's my two biggest tip for first timers or for any timers, because this is like my fifth or sixth time. Thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do like this type of content and subscribe to the channel. It's so funny like saying that now because so much stuff is just insignificant. And I knew that, but the medicine reminds you of how silly all this shit is. It's like so insignificant. The significance is connection and love. Like that's what it is.